part 2 of I found my dead brother living in my basement.
red and confused. A beam cracked above us, and the ceiling split. Caleb shoved me sideways. The beam crashed into the floor between us. Sparks and plaster exploded across the concrete. He was on his feet with his hand locked around my wrist, pulling me toward the stairs. Same iron grip as the episode, but this time pulling me towards safety. He knew this cellar by feel. He went up first, hauling me behind him. The kitchen roared like an oven, with the air shimmering and the cabinets catching fire one by one along the wall. My left leg gave out on the tile, and I went down, and my knee cracked against the floor, and pain whited out my vision. I can't. My leg. He didn't hesitate. He hooked his arms under mine and lifted me off the floor and threw me over his shoulder. He carried me through the burning kitchen where the ceiling rained sparks, through the living room where the couch blazed as a solid block of fire. My bad leg hung over his shoulder and bounced against his back with every step. He kicked the front door open and carried me down the porch steps and dropped me onto the lawn. Cold grass against my back, orange sky above me, sparks drifting upward. My father stood on the sidewalk watching the house burn. He set the fire and walked out the front door and stood there while both of his sons burned inside. My mother's car came down the street and she slammed the brakes and was out before it stopped rolling. She saw the fire and my father on the sidewalk and me and Caleb on the lawn covered in soot. What did you do? The wiring. There is a gasoline can in the garage and my son was in that house. She walked toward him and he stepped back and she kept coming. You set this fire. Caleb was going to tell everyone. Tell them what? His mouth opened and closed. He looked at the burning house. He looked at me on the grass with my bad leg bent underneath me. The leg he broke. I threw him. The ground dropped out from under me. My mother stopped walking. The fire crackled behind us. Eli was too. He was crying and I lost my temper and I picked him up and I threw him down the stairs. My chest caved in. I sat on the grass 10 feet away and felt every word in my bones. He picked me up. He threw me. I was 2 years old. His leg broke on the landing. Caleb was standing at the top of the stairs. He was 7. He saw the whole thing. My father's voice steadied. Calm. The same calm he carried when Mrs. Calloway's ambulance pulled away. I told Caleb he did it. I told him every day. I sat him down and I said, "You pushed your brother. You broke his leg. This is your fault." Every single day until a 7-year-old believed he was a monster. My mother pressed her hand over her mouth. "And then you put him in the cellar. He saw what I did. He was the only witness. I couldn't let him tell anyone. For 11 years, I fed him. I brought him books. I kept him alive. You kept him in a hole." My mother's hand cracked across his face so hard the sound echoed off the houses across the street. Caleb dropped to his knees in the grass and stared at his own hands. I didn't do it. He turned his palms over, and I had to look away because the expression on his face was too much. 11 years of believing he was a monster, and it was a lie. These hands never hurt anyone. Sirens cut through the night, and red and blue lights swept across the lawn. My mother was already talking to the officer and pointing at my father and pointing at the cellar. The officer walked toward my father and turned him around and put his wrists together. The handcuffs clicked around the same hands that threw me down a staircase when I was 2. The cruiser pulled away, and something I'd been holding in my chest for days finally let go. Caleb pressed his palms flat into the grass and breathed in through his nose, and his chest expanded like it was the first full breath he'd taken in 11 years.
Overall, the plotline was really interesting. How you doing?